LEGO Star Wars has nearly 1,000 sets at this point, and most of them do come from the numbered movies, episode 1 through 9 in the Skywalker Saga. But there is some points in those movies that they have missed. Even though some episodes, like episode 4, are pushing 100 sets, there are still a couple things that they have missed in that 2-hour long movie. So today, I'm going through these movies 1 through 9, and I'm telling you the set that I believe should drop from each of those movies. The only rule is we have to have not gotten it so far. Episode 3, I can't just say, oh, give us a Venator, because, like, we've gotten one, even if we do need a remake of a Playscale. But let's hop right in with episode 1. For episode 1, I think there's a pretty obvious thing. I've mentioned it on shorts. My shorts have gotten hundreds of thousands of views talking about it. Amidala's craft. It's called the Naboo Royal Starship. It's the nice, beautiful silver one. And when it comes to this, I just don't really see why LEGO has not. Because it's definitely a model you can make. It is a bit skinny, but you can easily turn that into a set. I think one of the main things is they know a lot of people complain if it's not chrome silver. But even in pearl silver, I can still see this set being very nice. And this would be a great way to get the Queen again. It is my favorite LEGO Star Wars figure ever made, the Queen. Everybody deserves to be able to get one of these. And the fact that people have to pay over $200 for the Queen is kind of insane. So I tell everybody, give us that set. Give us a Qui-Gon, give us an Obi-Wan, give us her captain guy, Tanaka, I believe is his name. There's a couple figures you can throw in that set. Give it a $60 to $100 range, and I think people are going to love it. And when it comes to episode 2, you have a couple options, because episode 2 does seem to be the mainline Star Wars, at least in the first 6, that has the least representation in LEGO. But I gotta go with the obvious one, a Geonosis arena. You need the 3 animals. It doesn't have to be molded, but it would be cool if they were almost built like the dragons from Ninjago. A lot of normal pieces, but some molded things for like the head, the face, the claws. They could make some beautiful animals there. And even if it's just the 3 pillars and the 3 animals, I think a lot of people would like that. But a Master Builder series style full arena with a ton of Jedi, everyone would love it. You'd be able to get some people like Coleman Trevor, Ayla Secura. This would be a great way to get Dooku again. A bunch of Geonosians. It makes sense. But the one thing for me that I said really needs to be in this set, if you do it, give us the 2 of them. The battle droid with C-3PO's head and C-3PO with the battle droid head. Figure it out. Make it work. Those need to be in the Geonosis arena. If they're not in there, something was wrong. Because those are the most integral things that LEGO has not made from Geonosis arena that you could end up putting in a set. So I think that's a pretty good, like, easy picking for episode 2. And I don't think many people would be arguing with that. For episode 3, it comes down to one thing that I do see them making. It is very possible, but because it is a very violent scene, I can't see them making it. Because a lot of people will immediately go, Jedi Temple. I'm not going to put that there. Especially if they do make a Jedi Temple at this point. I feel it'd be almost made more Clone Wars, so it's not like an Order 66. You'd be getting Temple Guards and stuff, which you don't see in episode 3. So I think that would be more of a Clone Wars set. There is a moment at the beginning of episode 3 that we have yet not gotten from LEGO, and that is the duel at the beginning with Obi-Wan, Dooku, and Anakin rescuing the Chancellor. And it would be a very easy duel. All you need is the chair the Chancellor is in, maybe a little platform that like falls, and it falls on Obi-Wan Kenobi. It'd be a pretty easy, pretty cheap set, and you just need 4 characters. Of course, you could throw in like some super battle droids are in that scene just to inflate the character amount, because you know LEGO would do that. And I think that's a pretty easy pick. I would say my secondary pick would be like the Senate battle between Yoda and Sidious. I think that would be a great set. Give us some Royal Guards, give us some Shock Troopers, Bail Organa and his little speeder. You can make a pretty good set with that. I personally think we need a new Dooku, we need a new Chancellor in those robes. So the figures are a little more desirable in the earlier in the movie set. If you're enjoying the video so far, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I'm on my way to 15,000 subscribers or something like that now. It's crazy. And yes, click the hype button. Anything helps the channel, and I really appreciate y'all. Episode 4 and Episode 5 were a bit hard for me because most things from those movies have been made. We have seen a slight piece of this, but it's not the full thing, so I'm going with Lars Family Homestead, even if it's just a diorama of just the little hut, Luke standing there looking at the two suns. It'd be a beautiful set. You could get Owen Lars. You can get Amparu. Like, it would be a very basic set. There wouldn't be really like any villains or something. But it's like the one thing from A New Hope we haven't gotten yet. It's an iconic location from Star Wars that hasn't been made yet, other than a little kitchen for a GWB. So give us that. Give us the home. And I think that makes sense for A New Hope. And for Episode 5, it's hard. Because most things Hoth have been done. Most things Cloud City have been done. I think the best step for Empire Strikes Back would be the trial in the cave. Give us a nice Luke versus Vader scene from Dagobah, and it would be also cool. Underneath Vader's mask would be Luke. You could include Yoda, you could include R2, but when you're really digging into Empire Strikes Back, like especially when you have the Master Builders Cloud City, a lot of scenes have been made there. So I could technically say, like, give us the dinner table scene. Give us the Boba, give us the Vader. But Empire Strikes Back is very well-rounded when it comes to the sets we have gotten for that movie. So the little Dagobah battle scene between Luke and Vader, you know, I think that's one of the last things we could possibly get that we haven't seen so far. And for my personal favorite, Return the Jedi, I think there is one great little build that I always thought was cool in the Lego games. It's cool in Battlefront. Give us the Endor bunker. That's not the actual just bunker, because we have that with, like, you could always do another bunker with the satellite dish. That would be cool. But I'm thinking of the one that is sort of the base, that has the AT-ATs, that has the Imperial shuttle. That's where Luke and Vader meet back up. I think that would be a pretty cool set. It's just kind of the case that you'd have to end up giving it like an AT-AT or an Imperial shuttle for it to be cool. And then it would be a case where you look at how it would be on a shelf and you'd be like, oh, it'd have to be like 16 inches tall to then line up perfectly with an AT-AT. So it's something I think would be pretty cool. But it's kind of the case where in Lego we haven't gotten a lot of bases. We have a little bit of Hoth, but we don't have a full Hoth base. Yavin 4 is like probably the closest we got to an actual base, but we have no clone bases, we have no Imperial bases other than the Death Star. So a little Imperial base, you could include the elevators going up and down, but again, a movie where a lot of it has been covered. You could do an Episode 6 Falcon, since we've never technically gotten one of those yet, but we've just gotten so many Falcons that I'm just like, yeah, we're not picking that. Now, for these last few movies, I think it's kind of a case where there is a lot missing. They haven't given a lot of love to the sequel trilogy. That's because a lot of people don't love them in the first place. But for Episode 7, there's one major thing that just hasn't been done yet, and there's only one set that even has a sliver of it, and it's Starkiller Base. Starkiller Base needs more sets. A bigger set that's like a actual planet as the interior sections. That wouldn't be my thing. There's some scenes on Starkiller Base, like what happens with Han and Kylo. You could have that as a little play set, even though it's really dark, where you could just have Kylo like swoop his father off the ledge. It is something we haven't gotten yet, which should be done. And then also General Hux in the troops in the stage. Just give us Starkiller Base stuff. So when it comes down to these final two movies, you have to really think, because for me, I think they got the main parts down. But there is still a lot that needs to be represented, and you just have to pick. So for me, I personally think the best thing to do would be, for Episode 8, it would be the scene with Yoda and Luke at the tree. You'd have the Jedi texts. It would be a great way to include Ghost Yoda, which would be probably one of the most like realistic places for that. You could include a function to kind of have the tree on fire too, and I know it would sell well, because if you included Ghost Yoda in any set, it's going to sell well. But for Episode 9, I just couldn't really think of a whole lot. The movie doesn't have a lot of memorable things, but the final duel, Jedi, Kylo, Rey, and then the big cool throne for Sidious. We got the new Sidious now, so I guess it's less impressive, but still, that wouldn't be too bad. And you could include a couple of the Sith, like, cultists that they have in the movie. I guess. That's something. So those are just a couple ideas I had. Let me know if you guys agreed with any of them. Let me know if you guys have a better idea for some of these movies. But that's all I got today. Hope you all enjoyed. I'm out. Peace.